everybody, it's Mark Bowen here today. I'm just wondering if you can all hear me there. If you could raise your hands, please. Thank you very much, Teresa. That's brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm just going to wait a few more minutes. Chris is just having to be somewhere else today, so I hope that's okay with everyone. I'm just waiting. A few more participants are now joining us. That's brilliant. Here they all come. We'll just give it a few minutes. Hopefully you've all had a fantastic weekend. Excellent, excellent. Those of you that are just in, obviously we will get started shortly, but as always, it'd be great to know how you're all feeling, if possible. How is it all going for you this morning? If you can pop in the box there, what you're on out of 10, that'd be much appreciated. Can you all hear me okay? Frustration at the number of leads. Interesting, great stuff, Paul. Well, you're on a great one today. We're going to look at the marketing that we should be doing today. Right, let's start, shall we? Obviously, as more people join us, we can go through. I'd just like to say I have been having some trouble with my audio on a number of webinars that I've been running. So if I drop, could you please just, one or two of you just put a note into the chat box and I will then step back slightly. Other than that, we will crack on. Obviously, as you know, we're running these webinars every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and we are here to help every organisation in Yorkshire that needs our support. So, you know, we are here for you. Please, please, please continue to tell everybody that you know that we are here, and we shall obviously help as many people of all sizes and different types of organisation as possible. So how can we help you best? Obviously at the moment, that is what we're here for today. So please make sure you put in any comments. So obviously any more thoughts, feelings, comments, scores out of 10 today for anybody there, please? How are we all? Just keep doing that as we are going through. I'll just give you a moment to do that. Yeah, okay, a couple of scores coming through. Make sure you put all panelists and attendees when you're making notes. That's great. And with that, we shall crack on. Oops, hitting the buttons far too fast this morning. So just before we crack into the where your marketing should be now, just wanted to highlight that obviously you may have seen this path to opportunities ahead in the previous webinars that we've been running. I think that we're personally in the training and potentially now getting an understanding, industry specific obviously, of where we are in terms of warming up and pushing on. So today we're going to be looking at different strategies in the marketing that you should be doing now to really ramp up for the sprint when we go back live, whatever that new world looks like. So we'll be spending the next hour or so, and please dive in with any questions if you have any throughout the session, and we'll go from there. So yeah, again, can we help you today? Just make sure, you know, if there's anything that's having an impact. I know we've had leads come in, yeah, definite conversion, but lead generation and marketing is definitely the key that we'll be discussing today. So that's fantastic. So what we're going to look at is the 12 steps to pivot your marketing. So I'm going to take you through the 12 steps. And the first one is obviously it's all about shifting of your strategies on that, if that's okay. So we need to look at making sure that our marketing is, you know, delivering the right solutions out there. It's got to improve the experience. It's got to be completely different from what we were doing a month ago, even 2 months ago. The world is not the same place. What are we giving our clients? Everything right at this moment has to shift, guys. We're seeing lots of stuff out there that's very, very samey, and it does need to change. We need to get people coming to us. So the likes of yourselves are obviously all on the call. So from our point of view, we're here to help you as best we can. What are you doing in return? Are you putting on any events for your clients? What marketing messages are you putting out there? And we will go through some of those in the next hour. We're going to, obviously, what we want to then do is improve on that experience and the benefits that you're offering. How can you add more value, the perceived value? It doesn't have to be huge amounts in terms of monetary value, but it could be your own time, your offerings that you're putting together. So how have you looked at shifting your strategy from what you were doing, what was working, to what you can do? And it will mean that you maybe have to do more now. You know, a lot more social media now. There's a lot more people on there. What can you build up in terms of a social media following now for the new world? You know, we're here, we're thinking about you, so how can we do that? What other giveaways can you do? Webinars are great. Can you interview people? Things like that. They're all on there. What strategies can you shift? So some of those will be covered off in the remaining steps to pivot. Is that all okay? Everyone okay with that so far? Any hands up there if you're all okay with that and you can hear me okay? Fantastic. Let's just crack on. Excellent. So number two is obviously the actual message that you're putting out there. We really, really, you know, need to change the message. As I briefly just said, how are we talking to our current clients? I mean, how many people have you seen out there, or how many adverts have you seen that in that first few weeks, obviously people were still running their traditional advertising? How many of them are still doing that? Please make sure you're not doing that. Oh, spelling mistake there, sorry. Reflect the current situation and be sensitive is absolutely key. As you can see, lots of the supermarkets, for example, the adverts they're putting out about not what offers are on, not what's out there, but how they're helping in the current situation, how they're preparing you to get you into the store. Does that make sense? So what can you do and reflect on what you're doing in your current situation? We've got to empathise with what's going on. It's terrible what's going on in the world, but that doesn't mean to say we can't then continually engage with everybody that we've got around us. We do need to be cracking on with the levels of engagement and out there, especially educating. So there's different people on here from varied businesses today, and we need to make sure that we are educating everyone that we deal with. So what can we provide free or more so than we've ever done before? How much help and advice can we give? Where can we add value? What can we do? Any suggestions from anybody out there? Please pop them in the comments box or pop any questions as you go. Like I say, if I can help whilst we're going through this, then let's do so. That would be absolutely fantastic. But no, nothing coming in so far. So I hope you're all good and you're all there. But yeah, how have you got ways to shift, sell, and add value? Like I say, a lot of people, when they think about adding value, is make sure it is adding value and you're not panicking into discounting. Discounting is one of the worst things you can do, because obviously you need to sell more to get the profits back. Adding value can be adding something that's perceived value for the clients, but maybe doesn't actually cost you a lot. Giving away time is a great one. So free webinars and things like that, like we're doing, are a great way to get your message out there. And I've got some other brilliant ones coming up as we go through the slide deck here. Apologies, it is a little bit wordy today, but there's so many bits in there. I'm hoping that you'll all be able to take at least sort of 5 or more actions away and go, yeah, I need to crack on with those throughout the morning. So let's jump on. First things first, we really do need to make sure that everybody is updating their websites. Obviously, our websites as they currently are out of date immediately. We need to make sure that we are front page appropriate for the current situation. That's what's going on with COVID-19. Many front pages of people's websites will not be relative in relation to what's going on at the moment. So especially the front page, and then update your content regularly. Make sure it's SEO relevant. Don't sort of be conning people use top of that already. It does take 4 months to build up, but start if you're going to be there in front of the moment. These can always be for normal world, whatever the new normal. So you're updating it as much as you can by add on, the better it is in the ranking that you're obviously adding. You do need to make sure that everything is there. Ideally, you want all the main bits of your content above the fold, as they say. So anyone that's looking on a laptop or on a PC sees the main part of the content of what you're trying to get out there above the fold, same as in the old newspaper days where it was always above the fold. You've got on there as well, make sure you've got your links to all your social media. Again, we'll be talking more about different social medias throughout the next 40 minutes or so. And don't plagiarize people. We need to make sure that what we've got is authentic. We can share other people's things on social media to build up that interest, but anything that you do yourself, make sure it is your own content, and make it sure it's fresh and relevant to what your customers and clients need. So on that, we'll step that right into the content that we need to do. Sorry, the sound went. Did it come back in again? Thanks, Carl. Are you? My apologies. I was getting excited. Moving on to step 4, it's how we step that content up. So can I ask, is anybody here, have I gone again? Guys, that's another one coming. Just give me one moment. Okay. Am I back with the sound, guys? Am I back on? Thank you. Thanks, Teresa. Thank you very much. So step 4 is about the content. Can I ask, whether it's a show of hands or in the chat box, what are you doing? Does everyone have a blog or a vlog on their website or social media? Or it's gone quiet there. Either I've gone quiet again or people aren't blogging. Let's give you some sort of idea, some stats of what we think people should be doing up to. So in terms of blogging or vlogging, depending on the industry you're in, at least once a day, and if they're short little vlogs, if it's a sort of little live video, maybe 3 or 4 times a day, depending on the platform that you're posting it to. So that's your sort of your blogs and your vlogs, 1 to 3 or 4 times a day. If you're utilizing Twitter, we would say anywhere between 10 and 50 times a day. Twitter is very much a news feed kind of thing these days, but 10 to 50 times a day on those would be a minimum. Sounds a lot, especially if you're a small business. So again, you'll want to pick which methods you're using. We'll come on to that later. Facebook, again, if you can post 4 or 5 times a day onto Facebook, with one of those being a video or a live, that will really help the engagement. So again, you've really got to start thinking outside the box, guys, about what you can share or what you want to say to people. We've got some examples of that coming up. If you're using LinkedIn, again, you probably want up to 4 posts a day, different times for different reasons. 1 or 2 of those, again, ideally would be a video. Video is key, and we'll come on to that way. Not sure if anyone is in today in the list. I can't see it all on my screen. Is Instagram. I don't know if anybody there is using that, but you want to be sort of posting all over that breakdowns. Like Twitter, it's obviously the shorter versions, but what is good is Instagram own IGTV, which is obviously a long format of your video, whereas Instagram is normally a minute, but IGTV you can go up to 10 minutes. So if you are creating videos every day, they can go onto YouTube, they can go onto Facebook, they can go onto IGTV. Other things outside of the lives, interviews are great. I see lots of people out there now interviewing people in their industry, or suppliers too, or helpers, people providing things. We obviously have a number of guest speakers on here from businesses that have pivoted to HR people. So they're live on a webinar, but you can do them as interviews, podcasts as well. Any white papers or case studies you've got, make sure they're all out there. And start sharing things that will help people in their jobs, tips, check sheets, the 7 best things to, or the 10 best things in my industry for, whatever that may be. You know, I don't know what they are. Again, massive list of people on screen today, so I can't make that up for you. But again, we are here to help. So if you want to run any brainstorms past us, we can either do it in the chat box now, or we can speak after the event. So that's absolutely fantastic. What you also need to do, though, is when you're stepping up your content, make sure, of course, it's memorable. So therefore, it is okay to entertain. It's not all business, business, business. For those of you that have read, say, Gary Vaynerchuk's book, Jab, 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 Right Hook, it's very much information and entertaining stuff before asking for anything. Hence, Jab, 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 Right Hook, if that makes sense. Be inspiring. You guys are leaders in your own industries. You know what you're talking about. So have fun with it, but inspire with it. Educate, inform your networks what is going on. And of course, the big one is keep it open. How do we keep it open? Obviously, ask open questions. You know, take learnings from people, follow up for any posts. Is anybody here? Quick question I'll do a show of hands. Is anybody here, do they respond to and reply to any social media, every single social media post? If they get a comment, is it responded to? Can anyone say that they do that religiously, or have someone do that for them religiously? Excellent. There are a few people on there that are doing that. That's brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. I'm so pleased, because normally I speak about that, and it's one of the areas where it's not something that's done religiously. So I'll just lower those down again. Thank you so much. But yeah, making your content different and to stand out, it's absolutely fine. The world has changed completely. So we are okay to change and try different marketing in this current situation. So any questions so far? Fairly simple stuff. It will need some time to do that. Obviously, we are in an element of change. I'm hoping that, as well as maybe the processes, your HR, depending on if you've had to furlough or you're carrying on, that you're looking at everything. The one area that you should always look at and not stop is marketing. So, you know, keeping on top of your websites, keeping on top of your content is key. So let's dive into some of the detail for the remaining steps as we go forward. Oh, the colour's gone funny there. I don't know what I've done there. Sorry about that, guys. We're on step 5. So let's talk a little bit more about blogs and vlogs out there. If you are regularly blogging and updating content, either via video or written word, there's a 97%, you know, you've got your pages will be 97% of more of your pages are indexed in the likes of Google. I'm just seeing some questions come in. I'll just come to those shortly, so that's brilliant. From a blog's point of view, headlines are key. In fact, that's the same for emails as well. You need something that will get people's attention in email, because obviously emails are getting very popular again. I think people have more time to read everything at the moment, but it does need to be compelling. The first paragraph is extremely key. So again, if you aren't confident in your written word, maybe partner up with a copywriter on that. We think that it should be about 800 to 1500 words long, those that are written, and then obviously use space on screen, subheadings, break up the text, make sure you're building in keywords and search phrases into the text. You know, keep it conversational, informative. We've all got to make sure that it's engaging ultimately. Appreciate I've not put any graphics on here. I put this together quite quickly because I want to just get it out there and get you guys motivated and having a great week on all of this stuff. So make sure you're using graphics and images. Apologies that this is text-based today, but the big one is always have some form of call to action, or if it isn't a call to action, it will link to something else that is relevant on your website, in your blog, something like that. So links must be on there with call to actions, and we'll utilize some of those. Obviously, your Facebooks of this world, lead pages and things that I'll come on to later, they're brilliant with their templates for calls to action. Okay, so we've got a question there. Suggested many of our customers are not highly digitally engaged. Yeah, that's interesting. There will be people in spaces that might not be as engaged as others. I think that some will be learning. I would definitely say, Paul, if they're over 50s, definitely don't touch Instagram. That is a younger audience. But it's just about how you might need to be creative. So it might not be, have the information on your website, but how are you reaching them to start with? Maybe it's email that we'll come on to later, or some of the other steps that we've got here. So if you can bear with us, Paul, on that. Any other questions, though, please be prepared to put them in, or pop a hand up if you'd like to have a chat. But whilst we are staying on the digital front, the step 6, big one at the moment is obviously video. Video is huge. I've deliberately not put video on. I was going to put my video on today, but I know I was having some internet issues this morning. So again, please let me know if I drop again. Videos are amazing at the moment. Every platform, you can pretty much go live off a mobile phone. So a lot of us are now, we're taking our daily walks. Just be yourself. People will get to know you by talking to them and saying what's coming up, what you're doing, how you're helping. Go on there and post. Good thing, as you can see there, number solutions up there for everyone. Host a live interview. We mentioned interviews before. Now more than ever, it's a lot easier to arrange a time to sit down and get 2 people on a Zoom call, record it, and then broadcast it out into social media, or send it out via email as a link to YouTube. Podcasts are great. Can make some really informative bits and pieces out there. Send those out directly to your network, whilst obviously then uploading them for the rest of the world. Do some check-ins with your clients. Have WhatsApp groups or Facebook check-ins or Zoom meetings. Say you'll sit on a Zoom call. There's another coach, he doesn't do webinars. He'll sit in and do business talks between 12:30 and 1, and you can just go in. He'll be on Zoom live. If people join in, that's great. Obviously, think about the content over the production value. I've definitely done that today. I really wanted to get this content sort of to you that we put together, because I think it's so relevant. Marketing right now is so important. It's okay to market. And I really just, I hope we're coming across as authentic with all the work that we're doing. We just want to help as many people as we can. So please let us help you. Definitely vary your lengths of any video that you're putting out there. A lot of what I see out there from the majority of us in Action Coach is we keep it around under 10 minutes unless it's a set webinar like this. So if it's just a post, keep it a couple of minutes on a live to say maybe what else is coming up, but then have 10-minute things. If IGTV, Facebook, they're all great at about 10 minutes. So if you're posting something that's under 10 minutes, you can quickly get that onto YouTube, Facebook, IGTV, and then you can send a copy of the YouTube over to LinkedIn, for example. It's very, very easy to get video content out. Of course, LinkedIn love it if you go into there, and where you can post on LinkedIn, you can also set video off. They're not so good yet at doing lives. That isn't there, but I'm told it's coming. But everywhere else, you can go live. Obviously, then follow up and measure engagement. Any comments, make sure you're following up on those comments. So those of you that couldn't put your hands up to respond into comments, please make sure that you do. Always respond to your clients and find out what's important. So from my point of view, and Chris's, is there anything else that we're not covering that you guys would need? Please either email us, put it in the chat box, and we'll make sure we put it into one of the sessions. Sometimes I know you guys just like to check in and know what you're doing is working. But no, if you can do that, that would be absolutely fantastic. Just take a quick breather there. So I'm getting excited because I love all this stuff. This will really help. I know it will. Step 7, we need to make sure that we've looked at our social media in detail, because I appreciate companies of different sizes on the call today, that you're going to have to focus because it can be time consuming. I get that. So do you know which platform is working for you at the moment? Do you guys have social media strategies at the moment that you are regularly posting to? Maybe not as many times as I suggested earlier on in the slides, but is everybody posting to social media? Either a comment or a show of hands would be useful there. Just making sure I haven't gone off again. Julie, fantastic. Thank you. Paul, thank you. Yeah. Brilliant. Dave, Mike, Mark, thank you. Thank you. Show of hands there. I'll lower the hands. So yeah, make sure where you do put it that everything is shareable. How will you grow your network if people value what you're putting out? Ask them to share it, ask them to comment, and make sure you're following up. Yeah, make sure you're using the old hashtags. Again, create your own hashtag to build your own following. Make sure you're utilizing the descriptions boxes in all of these platforms to describe exactly what you're doing. And again, if you are starting to build up your SEO, if you're not doing that, know what you need keywords wise for your SEO and build that in. So everything, make sure the SEO is transferable right from your website through your social media posts, etc., to everything that's going out there. And you know, with social media marketing, obviously making it so relevant, the fast-paced speed that it's going through our life, a bit of urgency and call to action. So of course, if you want to speak to people, tell them to get in touch with you now via Messenger or getting. So am I back there, guys? Am I gone completely? Am I back now? Yeah, I'm still here, guys. Just keep talking. It's a few seconds. Wait, I'm just going to keep talking, and as soon as someone says I'm back, that would be brilliant. If you can just let me know whilst we're going through that, I would really appreciate it. Obviously not having a lot of luck with the tech now. Thank you, Teresa, for letting me know I'm back. So I assume, you can all see the bullet points there, but I assume for most of you that Facebook and or LinkedIn will be your probably your top 2 areas, and then it'll be YouTube and possibly Instagram behind that. You know, so what goals are you setting for your social media? Are you just wanting to get the message out? Are you wanting people to register for something, subscribe? Are you asking questions to get them to interact? So it all forms part of what you're getting out there, the quality of the questions, engaging with people, and then use the 90-10 rule. Definitely 90-10 on this, because you will, by test and measure, and test and measuring across everything that you do in marketing is key. I can't stress that enough, and I will do so towards the end of this. We need to really get 2 platforms working really, really well for everybody. If you haven't got 2, then obviously come and speak to us. We'll help you sort of set some bits and pieces up. We've got a few more steps to go to get you thinking on that. But 2 should take up 90% of the time that you're putting aside in your default diary for social media. The rest, build it up slowly and try things for 10% of the time. And again, measure what you're doing. Measure the responses. Which sort of posts are you getting the best engagement on? Does that all sound good? Any questions there, guys? I'm just going to sort of just check in with everybody because I know I'm talking fast, because I'm getting excited, because I think now is the time to really push the message out or provide information. So is everybody okay so far by show of hands, or any questions? Yeah, I see people are mainly using Facebook there. Yeah, any questions at this stage from anybody? No, I'll give it a second. It looks like mainly people are using Facebook, which is great. Well, as there's no questions in there, you can all still hear me, I take it? Just checking that. Excellent, I will crack on. So step 8, we are looking at how we can take, especially Facebook, further forward. We want to make sure that we can boost. If you are getting very good traction on something that you're putting on Facebook, then please, I would say, that is the time where you can boost your Facebook. Because what you want to do is boost it to the people that communicate, so it'll find a like-minded audience. And again, you can set that in the back office, in the dashboard of Facebook. And again, we can help you with that if you need anything. But the main thing is, if you are wanting to try some spend and test it, set a budget. Set your target audience for both paid and any boosts, definitely in the back office. Of course, please test. And we say A/B test. It could be that you have, there are some of our ads that go out, and there might be 10 to 15 to 20 different versions out online at any one time for different niches within the marketplace. And again, you can stop these and start them fairly quickly, especially within Facebook as well as other platforms as well. Obviously, keep things simple. Using video here is great. On your videos on Facebook and Instagram, a good solid 15 to 20 second video as part of an ad is brilliant. You want to just then look at some real sort of any eye-catching graphics, some small writing, sort of almost like micro copy, just to attract the eye. And then obviously have your call to action buttons in there. And again, in all the comments and descriptions, link to anything that's relevant, any events, your websites, any other offers that you've got going on. But again, it should be all about, it's the key secrets of marketing. It's who you're targeting is, top. Then the offer, you've got to put the right offer in front of the right people, and then it's copy. So copy, imagine how good, if copy is the bottom, if you had some great copy at micro level with a video and a little ad or a nice little advert online, put in front of the right people, even in this market, it's a great opportunity to grow your database, to get in front of people, tell them what you do, just help them, and they'll remember that. You want people to comment so you can send it to their friends. That's where boosting does work. You will obviously boost something to friends and a similar target audience to who they are. So does anyone have any questions on that? Because it should be about, let's utilize Facebook because it's getting cheaper as everybody initially stopped. YouTube is very cheap. Again, if you're doing video ads in front of any sort of videos, so anyone that's in the personal development space, for example, you might want to put your video ad before anything that anybody that follows and is subscribed to people like Tony Robbins, for example. YouTube ads are very cheap at the moment, along with LinkedIn and Facebook and various other aspects. But again, it depends on your marketplace, who you're aiming at. It may not suit to go on Facebook at the moment. Email may be better, for example. But let's push that on a little bit more. How many of you here have a good solid CRM system with a database and is continually adding to that? Can you just let me know in the chat box? That would be absolutely fantastic. And don't worry if you don't, it'd be great. Bit of feedback, bit of participation. Excellent. Yeah, thanks, Teresa. Anybody else got to admit they do or they don't? Brilliant. Yeah, definitely for follow-up. And that's all about the relationship building before we can go in and close. So brilliant, Paul. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, database building should be happening at all times. We should never stop marketing. And there's lots of different ways that you can obviously build that database. Yes, Therese, there's definitely multiple ways you can get sign up, especially collecting people's data and emails by giving them various offers. So yeah, have multiple opportunities out there, whether it's signing up for a newsletter, white pages, case studies, keeping them informed of things. That can be done via Facebook, it can be done via social media, it can be done via email, as well as on your website. So utilize those and have multiple opt-in strategies across multiple opt-in pages. I can't stress that enough. The more we can collate the data, the better we should become at marketing it. But obviously we do need to make sure that we look at the detail of that, which I'll come on to shortly. But no, when you are collecting people's data, do you automate a really stellar welcome email? How are you thanking people for joining your community? You know, that is so important. What can you put on there? Can you send them a series of videos over a couple of days via 2 or 3 emails? This can, of course, all be automated. It will have to be very different than what it is now in this world as we change back to a new norm. Again, it'll be thinking about the strategies as we go through it. But right now, how can we, more than ever, I think it's a case of helping people and then telling them what you do. I don't know if you agree with that. Again, you're all different industries here that I can see on the call today. Make sure that there is a preference center there as well, especially if you've got multiple opportunities, products and services at different ranges for different people. You obviously don't want to be marketing anything very simply, and I know you wouldn't do this, but anything that's female related to a male. And I do know that this is still happening. Brad Sugar's the founder of Action Coach. He bought a dress for his wife, and he did buy it online because, again, it was at the start of the current situation. He is now just receiving generic emails about how great women look in dresses and how to look good and things like that, even though his email says Bradley or Brad. They're not, actually looking at the detail there. He's just getting sent everything. So give people the preference to opt in and out of the various sections, and obviously keep track of the detail, which we'll come on to. But make sure you are keeping those lists clean in the database. Don't keep harassing people if they don't want it, especially if people ask to be taken off. Obviously, we've got a lot of privacy practices and GDPR, which we'll come on to. But yeah, definitely keep building databases. Just as an aside, I take lots of walks around where I live. I live in a very big sort of housing estate, so there's lots of people that are parked up at the moment, and there's lots of big people in just my local community. I didn't know these businesses existed. So I'm building my database by taking pictures of the vans and the logos to see where they're based. Something as simple as that, as taking a picture. It doesn't always have to be just online, but marketing online right now is just a massive, massive strategy. Does that all make sense, everyone? Everyone happy with that? Any questions at all? I think we'll have a little bit of time for any questions, or if there's anything else that people want help with at the end, so that'll be great. Okay, email marketing. So that's once you've got that database, you do need to know your audience. How do we make sure we split it? So again, those of you that have got CRM systems, how are you tagging or distributing or splitting your audience? Again, don't be sending female only dress stuff to a guy. He's bought it as a gift. It should have been known it was a gift. I think there was a gift option on the checkout, but it's not gone through into the future follow-up marketing. Test and measure to see what works. So with A and B testing is critical. Again, it doesn't just have to be A and B. You've got 2 pictures in the same ad. It can be multiple pictures to see what resonates with that market. And again, it can be a niche market within your overall market that you go into. Make sure you know what do you want out of it? Are you wanting to collect emails? So is that the metric? Are you wanting to book a free call? Are you wanting people on a webinar? What is the outcome and what are you looking to measure? Part of the test and measure to see if this works, you need to know what you're looking for. Again, if you haven't had a call with us just yet and you want to brainstorm that and get any help for some actions, please do so. But we've got to keep communicating with people and treat them as human beings. So personalize everything. Make sure there's always something specific to that person in there. Don't just block it off as a bulk email. Frequency is obviously quite an interesting one at the moment because we're all working in different environments. So the responses you get, because is is working well. We're back to, I know certain businesses package email. Again, are you keeping all the free stuff that we've got on at the moment? Clients, what can you offer them as an incentive to come back to a future webinar, to distribute that webinar? If they buy something off you, what else can they get if they come back? Does that all make sense? Ah, been lost again. Sorry about that, guys. Am I back again? Just check in there. Yeah, I'm back again. Sorry. Hopefully that'll be the last time this hour. So whilst you're having to think about who your customers are you emailing your best customers and or calling them at this time just to see if you can help or provide them with any information? Is anyone doing that as a, separate from maybe emailing out there to a bulk database? Let's get some participation, guys, in the last few minutes. Who's rung their last, their clients? Calling. Brilliant. Well done, Paul. Yeah, definitely just keep in touch. For some people, it's going to be the actual communication with another human being outside of their whole, family network. If they're stuck at home, they might just appreciate the call, even if it's just a social call at this time, if they're not ready to do anything. With many businesses, especially in, say, travel, leisure, tourism, hotels closed, if you are supplying to those, can you just let them know you're there to help? It's great. So I love the fact people are picking up the phone and calling. Yet Julie is in contact as well. Yet some people are finding email even a nuisance. It can be, but it's also a great way in this current time to make sure that you're educating people, and it could just be to let them know that you're there if you can't get through. Definitely make sure, as I mentioned on the previous section, segment the audience up. So have your database split up so you are contacting your database for the relevant reasons for whatever it is you do or sell. But just on the flip side of that, as an aside, it is also worth noting, if you are a business on here that has multiple routes of income through various different products or services, it is also good to educate your database on everything that they may or may not know that you do. Don't assume everybody knows what you do. Does that make sense? It's such a quick route to pick up the phone, email, do a webinar to let everyone know all your products and services and what you're doing about it. And you'll get people that may have bought off you for years go, I didn't even know you did that. It's a really quick win, not just in COVID-19 times, but right through. I will work with clients and I will get them to literally list all their products and services across the top of a sheet of paper or a spreadsheet, all their clients that have spent a certain amount or bought off them, and get them to tick the box on the spreadsheet at the relevant product or service. All the gaps are just free opportunity. Massive, massive, massive opportunity straight away there now. So segment your audience, provide it relevant, but educate at the same time. Hopefully that helps, guys, as a little aside there. Maybe you've all got some action points to take away. If you are making some action points, please make sure you highlight them in a different color. It reminds you to do them, especially red, as action points. And yeah, definitely the last point is, as well as a good header on the email, making sure it's making people open it, make sure that you are signing off correctly and you're giving people the right call to action, telling them what they want. And Let's move on to the even more detail online. Now is a perfect opportunity to try anything. So again, let me ask in the room, if I could there, who here is using any landing pages for any of their marketing at the moment, whether it's built into your website or you're using an additional service to create an instant page, for example? Anybody, either in the chat box or hands up if anyone is using anything successfully? It'd be great to share if you are. Give you a second there to see if anyone is. Oh, okay. Paul's using, yeah, it's just going to come to me, that one, Paul. Directing your Facebook posts to the website. So obviously if you've got a good website working well, then keep doing that. Is there anything specific though where you could link it straight through into a landing page? Does anyone, and obviously does everybody understand what I mean by a landing page? Is there anybody not on here that doesn't understand what I mean? No one's saying no. Sounds good. Ah, Julie, right, brilliant. Thank you, Julie, for your honesty. I really, really appreciate that. A landing page is a separate page, usually. It can go into your website, but the reason I like them as separate pages, and there are businesses that will allow you to set these up through their software, so it's where you can then maybe try an advert or try some information. So from your advertising or Facebook posts, you can direct people to a one-page website, so and that will have maybe a video on and an offer on and a call to action. So it's separate from your website. So especially if you've had to pivot, you've had to change, you want to try something new but just test it, why would you change the whole website? So a landing page, if you look up, if you Google things like Insta, I-N-S-T-A pages or Lead Pages, they're two companies that provide the facility to literally build pages off templates and they will host them for you, and you can then try marketing strategies to them. So a landing page is literally just a one-page website, but you can host it anywhere, and they are really, really good. What you can do, and what I would always say is, yes, you can then lead them onto a website, or you can collect information, Julie, or take them into a sales funnel, book them into it. You can take them anywhere you want. What's great about it is obviously you're just using it as a test. So Lead Pages and people like that are brilliant if you want to test 3 or 4 different things. Why go in, change your whole website? If you test 4 or 5 things and knowing only one's going to work, you move that one over. Some little tips and tricks that you can do is, obviously, if you are creating something, make sure what you're creating potentially looks like your branding, your advert, or your website. So they're not going off a post, an article, your website, into something that they go, what's this? It doesn't make any sense. It looks completely different. So have some continuity there. But it does allow you to get some really targeted stuff out there. So again, if you want to chat on that, Julie, more than happy to have a chat, as long as, and anybody else, obviously, as well. But make sure, as with any form of marketing, that, it all matches up right through your advert. Again, the beauty of Lead Pages is you can really focus on the top bit above the fold and then add in some more detail down. So for those people, it works really great for all personality traits. So for those that are really direct and just want the information, boom, video, offer, put your email in, it's there on screen, done. For those that like a bit more, you can have a bit more text, another call to action, a bit more information. So it's there for everyone, but keep it there. The beauty of using an outsourced company like Lead Pages, ClickFunnels, Insta Pages, it's just perfect because they build it all for you. They understand how it all works. So you get your visual clues. They will place the button for a call to action, for example, in a really good place. And it'll do these other points on here, like it won't have any other distractions on there because it's a separate one page. It's just for the relevant piece of marketing that you've got it there for. Again, link across any social proofs, any testimonials, copy them into there. Keep the copy really simple. Again, use lots of space apart from in the bit above the fold. And again, all these sites, like your Lead Pages and everything, they're all designed for mobile-friendly access. It's fantastic. So they will cross-blend across any phone, any tablet, and any computer. So the layout will look and flow as you need it. So I definitely say use some of the companies out there. The two that I've mentioned, Lead Pages and Insta Pages, they are literally just a company where you can pay for the service to host your landing page. ClickFunnels that I mentioned is a full marketing suite that can host your emails, it can automate emails, send them out. So it's very much like Lead Pages, MailChimp, your CRM, everything all in one. Obviously, there is a different price point for that on there. And again, I'd be happy to chat through those and some other ones that are out there. But I would say if you're not doing any of this and you want to try something, definitely go away and take that as an action, because getting people in front of you or your brand. But if it's pivoted, use a landing page. If you've got a great offer, something just for the now, use a landing page or try it. Let me know how you're getting on, and again, I'd love to chat that through with everybody. And the final one, a little bit more time now because of where we're both traveling. Paul is actually the conversion rate, so it's not necessarily the advertising. Paul will definitely. Any other comments there from that? Otherwise, I'll dive in. Am I there? Am I back? If I'm back, I shall get on. Hello, hello. Let me just know if I'm there, guys. I'm still here and talking to you. Let me just know if I've kicked back in. I'm back again. Thank you, Namin. Yeah. So, Paul, you said you didn't hear my response. Yes, Paul, I would say let's definitely have a chat on conversion rate separate. That could be something else that we could look to add in as one of the talks on our webinars. But I'll definitely have a call with you on that. Are you saying then, Paul, though, that your strategies that you are doing are working? It is just the conversion rate because of the situation that we're in. Again, if you want to put that into the chat box, that'll be great, and I'll pick that up with you. But I'll go back on and finish point 12 because I know time is cracking on here. So Google AdWords, again, obviously everything we've spoken about so far has been kind of social media related, whether it's paid or free content. What's the difference between Google and your social media advertising? Anyone got an answer to that? Either put your hand up if you want to talk it through or type in the chat box. Anyone know the difference between when you advertise on Google versus social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, and other platforms? Anyone going to dive in? Paul's put generating leads and quality in terms of prospects, interest, and commitment, as well as the ability to build rapport with them. I agree with all of that, Paul. But in fact, what I was thinking is Google is a search engine. People are searching for what you are providing. Therefore, unlike your social media, especially for people on phones, you've literally got to stop them in their tracks and stop them scrolling with their thumbs or their fingers to gain their attention. So it's almost a different headline and a different message that you would have in different ads versus Google versus your social media. You're interrupting people in social media. You are searching people out who are searching for what you offer service or product wise on Google. People are typing those in. And remember, Google owns YouTube. So if there are videos about your industry, they've got the two biggest search engines in the world. Does that all sound good? Is the sound okay? Yeah, the sound's back in. Thanks, guys. So yeah, just repeat that just in case sound had gone for anybody. Google AdWords, people are searching for those terms, and they also own YouTube, two biggest search engines in the world. You've then also got Bing, Yahoo out there. All your social media stuff, you are disrupting people's days with your ads. Therefore, you may have the same underlying message, service, offer, call to action. You have to approach those differently. So analytics account, you can also create a keywords account. Again, you can go time zone or and dashboards in the back office. For location, what I really again and go deep again. The beauty of online is you can go really deep with your target market. You know, you can drop a pin on a map and target everyone within 500 meters of that pin if you wanted to, or you can search by demographic, job type, name. It is really detailed. Google know everything about us. We all know it. Amazon, Google, YouTube, Facebook, they know everything about us. Let's utilize our ads to reflect that. So define the target, make sure you set your budgets, because you need to know, you know, are you wanting a return on investment off the initial spend, or are you buying your clients for the longer term? What is the lifetime value of your client? Do you have the cash flow? And at this time, I appreciate lots of people might not have the cash flow, so you might need to set relevant budgets to look at that return and test and measure. Obviously, Brad's got a great book on buying customers, and it is a case of looking at what gets an initial return on investment versus actually it's worth losing money on the first couple of spends, because you know, if you've, with what services and offers and products you buy, that you've got a lifetime value that's 50 times that initial spend to get them. Does that make sense, guys? Again, I'm more than happy to talk to people on that another time. But yeah, set your budgets, connect everything up throughout the whole Google platform, keywords, analytics, utilize that. Again, by building your campaigns externally, so your Google ad would go off to a lead page or to your website or to an event on Eventbrite, whatever it is. The book is Buying Customers by Brad Sugars. It's a great book. Again, I can point you in the directions of that one. And again, depending on what you're doing with your ads, if you are really defining your target location and type of person, focus that ad group down with really tight keywords. Don't go, oh, I'll pick up 50 phrases that are used in my location for my product, my service, my industry. Really spend a bit of time focusing that down, and then just test and measure, guys. I cannot stress how important it is to test and measure. Because what I will say is, where you can, right now, and obviously update sheet for marketing, that if you leave sheet, and we can talk that through. 10 by 10, an ideal, perfect world. And repeat the 20, grow it to whatever level you want the business to be at. Does that make sense? So definitely keep doing your marketing, even if it's free. Sound's gone. Sorry, guys. Still here. Still here, guys. I'll finish up in 1 second. Am I back there now, guys? Just give that a moment just to see. Thank you, guys. Yeah, so as I was saying, just to focus finish, do more marketing. We can send across a test and measure sheet if you don't have it from the 90-day pack, if you didn't do that with us. you want to be doing as many steps of marketing as possible. We have the 10 by 10 rule. Please ask me if you need any more information on that. But other than that, we are still offering our gifted sessions each week. So please come and speak to us. If you haven't, or even if you have had those and want to rebook in, we are here for each and every one of you. So I'll give you a call over the next 24 hours. That's brilliant. And again, we are continuing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We're here to help in any way we can. So if you see the events out online, please share them. Please start inviting any business owners. Lots of business owners have obviously hidden away and are hoping for the best. Well, we now need to make sure that that is properly looked at. So that's great on that. So if we can help in any way, that's brilliant. And other than that, for me, is there any sort of final questions? Otherwise, I would say, I hope from there, you've got at least 5 action points. If you would like to put in those action points, that would be absolutely fantastic. And if I can help with any of those, yeah, a couple of people have asked about the 10 by 10. I'll give you a call on that. That's absolutely fantastic. We'll do that. Great, Teresa. Good using some red highlights. How many have you got, Teresa, on there? That's fantastic. Thank you for the participation there. Love that. At least 5. Well done, Teresa. Thank you. Yeah. I'll find out and check in and see. But that's it from me, unless anybody has any questions. Thank you for listening to me today and stepping in for Chris. I hope you've got some decent action points and taken away. Apologies about the sound a few times throughout the hour. Thank you very much. I'll stay around for a minute or so for any questions. But other than that, enjoy the rest of your day. Please take action. We'll see you on Wednesday. Thank you very much.
You're finished.